Hey guys, Alexei here with Remax Performance, and I got Bryce here with PWD Windows in Harrisonburg, and he will tell us all about the window world here. Bryce, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure, yeah. My name is Bryce Rogers. I'm on the management team at PWD Window and Door here in Harrisonburg, just south of town, next to the fairgrounds. People have probably seen our building. We've been around a long time, so pretty familiar in the community. But yeah, really excited to be here and talk windows and doors with you.
Perfect, thank you. How long have you guys been in business?
Yeah, so we as PWD have been in business. Actually, this is our 20th year in business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We have our general manager and our owner are both, they've been in the window and door industry since the early 90s, and then actually split off and became PWD in 2004, 2005. So yeah, we're 21 years. Forgot what year it was there for a second. And that's when PWD officially formed. We've been in a couple different locations around town, but we've been pretty much where we're at right now since the 2005, 2006.
Gotcha, perfect. So what inspired your dad to enter into the business though? Like what was his, idea behind starting?
Sure. Yeah, so a little bit more backstory behind PWD. People often ask, what does that stand for? Or maybe they know originally it stood for Paget Window and Door. Mm-hmm. So there was a manufacturing company in Bridgewater called Paget Manufacturing. They did all sorts of woodworking, millworks, custom. They were building custom grandfather clocks and humidors and anything that was custom millwork. They were building it. And so my dad actually was hired on there, and he started the window and door division for that company. And so he just started with a couple of small window and door manufacturers there, started selling them locally and going out to architects, builders, and all that. And it slowly grew. That was the early 90s, and so it grew over the next 10 or so years. And then at that time, he decided to split off and to buy the window and door division from Paget Manufacturing, which then became Paget Window and Door. And then just over the years, we've become known as PWD.
And just kept it.
Yeah, it just kind of, it just kind of stuck. So that's.
Is the Bridgewater company still around?
No, I don't know when they went out of business, but yeah, they're no longer there. But
gotcha.
We still like to kind of pay our respects to how the business got started.
Of course,
and, yeah,
that's a cool story.
They were very supportive of Dad along the way and him getting on his feet and establishing the company. So
that's funny they say that. Like I think nowadays you don't see it as much. Like it feels like people are a lot more cutthroat nowadays.
Sure,
you know what I mean? Like back in the day, it's like, oh yeah, you want to start your own thing, go for it.
Yeah, they were very supportive.
Like, non-compete.
Yeah. No, they were great. They were very supportive, and I know he's very thankful for that. And then obviously, it's snowballed into what it is today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. How many employees do you guys have right now?
So we have 22 employees, I believe. We're actually in the midst of hiring some more people. So we're right around that 22, 23 employee range.
They are hiring.
We are hiring, yes.
Perfect plug.
Depending on when you watch us, we are hiring.
Fair point. Very fair
But
point.
we're always open to talking to people. So
there you go.
We're always looking for good people.
There you go. Perfect segue for us then. What is your philosophy when it comes down to customer service?
Sure. I guess how to say it is we want our customers to feel cared for. Mm-hmm. And in a fast-paced world, we're always looking for convenience, and we're always looking for, just instant gratification. And we like to slow down, and we like to do the job right. We like to make sure the customer is getting exactly what they envisioned and exactly what they're paying for. So at the end of the project, they feel cared for, and they love their new windows, they love their new door. It's what they envisioned, what they imagined, and they feel great. That's what we want.
Perfect. So what would differentiate you guys, for example, if somebody is trying to get windows from you and get you to install them, or like, for example, like what would differentiate you from people that are like handyman that do windows? You know what I mean?
Sure. So you've probably heard the phrase jack of all trades, master of none. 100%. So those are not our guys. Our crews, they install windows and doors day in and day out. So that is what they do. That's what they're good at. That's what they know. So any kind of product, they know the products, they know different installation scenarios, they know how to handle different unforeseen obstacles. Because, when you open up a wall, sometimes you don't know what you're going to find. If you're going to find rot, if you're going to find termite damage, whatever it is, our guys are dealing with that day in and day out. And so that's what they know, and that's how they know how to troubleshoot and handle those situations properly.
So you guys have your own crews, right?
Yes.
You don't hire it. How many crews do you have?
Right now we have 3 window and door installation crews.
Nice.
And those are our guys. They come to our shop every day. They come to the shop, leave from the shop, come back to the shop. They're our people. And that's what they do day in and day out, is they do window and door installations for PWD.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that. That makes sense. Okay. Well, let me ask you this then. So let's say I'm a customer and I need windows. How does the process start with you guys from start all the way to, cleaned up house, ready to go?
Sure. Yeah. So typically customers first get in touch with us either through our website or they call into the showroom or they just come into the showroom.
The website will be right here, by the way?
Yes, we'll have that down below. And really, we like to discuss with them, what type of project are you looking for? Windows, doors, how many? Just figure out what they're looking to have done and what they have envisioned, if anything at all. Sometimes people are like, I have no clue what I want. Can you help me? Which is why we have a showroom, so we can walk people through the products, walk people through the different options.
By the way, their showroom is really nice.
Yeah.
I've been there. It's actually really, really nice. Highly recommend.
Thank you. We're
Check it
very
out.
proud of it. We really love our showroom. And it's a comfortable place for people to come and check things out, and we can show them around. So it starts with, what are you looking to have done? And then we like to have our salespeople go out on site, take some measurements, walk the house, see what's going on, kind of see what different applications we might be dealing with. And then from there, they can recommend what products we should use for the job to match maybe what's existing in the house, or if there's certain colors or shapes and things like that they want to do. Not every product line offers everything, and so recommending the right product, not necessarily the most expensive product, but the right product for the customer and what they need. And so after that, if everything goes well and they're happy with the quote and happy with their choices, we keep in communication on ship dates, on when things will be in, communication on our installation schedule, so when they can expect kind of a rough timeline of when we'll be coming. And then once things are in, we can give them a specific timeline of, hey, here's when we can be there. Does that work for your schedule? If not, we move around. We're very flexible with what works for the customer. And when we can be there to do the install. And then our guys show up. We're usually on site between 8 and 8:30. And our guys are on time. They're very respectful, very clean. And so we don't pull off of jobs. And so we're not going to start your job and get one window done and there's 5 more to do. And we're not going to pull off and go do some other job. We're there to do your project, and we're going to do your project. We're going to stay on it, get it done right, make sure you're happy before we head out.
Yeah, that's true. The fact that you say that guy's going to be on time and not get pulled off the project and then drag their feet, that's already like half the battle.
Right.
In the construction industry. Unfortunately, to some audience, maybe they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
If you ever did any work at your house, sometimes you get into a pickle.
Yeah, and that's one of the pros of having our own guys, our own crews, is that with subcontractors, sometimes they're just going to the loudest voice. They're just trying to calm things down, and we have control over our schedule and control over where our crews need to be and when, so we can take care of our customer.
That totally makes sense. So, installation-wise, do you guys mainly focus on already existing window replacements or new construction? What is the percentage breakdown for you?
No, so we do a lot of both, actually. We have a whole new construction side of things. So if you're looking at building a house, we have our own people that they strictly work with customers and builders for new construction projects. And then we have a whole other section of guys that are working strictly with homeowners for replacement jobs.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What is the percentage you would say new to replacements?
I would say 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, it fluctuates, obviously,
Of course.
as anything does. But we do a lot of both. Up and down the valley over in Charlottesville, into West Virginia, we do a lot of both, just kind of all around.
That makes sense. How long would you say if somebody, for example, needed to get windows replaced, how long does it take about per window?
Oh, per window?
Like, for example, your guys get there at 8 a.m. and then, what would you tell a customer? How long would it take for them to be finished?
Yeah, that can be a tricky question because, like I said, you pull an old window out and you've got the new one to go in and you find rot
You run into
or something like that. Then you've got to troubleshoot and deal with that. So it's really hard to say per window because we don't really view it that way.
Gotcha.
That's a bit more of, for subcontractors, people are just used to having subs show up and slap windows in. They're typically working by piecework, which means that they're slapping in as many windows in a day as they can.
Right.
And so that kind of promotes the idea of quantity over quality, as opposed to we're focused on quality over quantity. So I wish I had a better answer as far as time, but you pull a window out of an old home and you find that water's been leaking behind the siding for the past 10 years and nobody knew it. And now we've got to repair and are going to repair and can repair that rot before we put a window back in the opening and flash it up properly.
So what would you say differentiates you from like big book stores like the Home Depot, Lowe's, and all of those guys?
Yeah, well, you're going to get a personal touch with us for sure. But a lot of it really comes down to having our own people doing the work. And we have our own service technicians. So on the back end, if you have an issue, a lot of times with subcontractors, they might show up, do the job, and then they're gone. And if you have an issue or you have a warranty issue, you might call big box store and they say, well, you got to talk to the manufacturer. As opposed to working with us, you call us and say, hey, this door isn't quite working right, or this lock on this window broke, I need to get it replaced. You know where to find us, you know how to get in touch with us, you know how to walk right into our showroom, and we'll get you taken care of. So we have our own people installing that know what they're doing, and then we have our own service technicians. So on the back end, you have a piece of glass that's broken.
Right.
We can get that piece of glass from the manufacturer. You don't have to deal with the manufacturer and sitting on customer support for days on end. You just talk to us, we get it taken care of, we order it, we handle warranty issues, everything like that. It's not a problem. So
that makes sense. So then that's a great follow-up question to that would be, many people don't know, but for example, I do break a window, just one side, because they're usually
usually double pane.
Right? You do break one. How does the process look for somebody that breaks a window?
Sure. Every manufacturer is a little bit different in what their warranties are. A lot of the vinyl window companies we're finding, and one that we mainly deal with called PWD windows, they actually offer a lifetime warranty on their glass, which is a really great option when replacing windows, because you can be weed eating or have kids playing baseball out in the yard and somebody shoots a rock up with the weed eater and breaks the glass. You call us, we can get the identification of that piece of glass off the window. We can order it and we can come out and replace that piece of glass for that exact window.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense. And does it, for example, like let's say somebody calls you guys for repair. What if they purchased the window from Joe Schmo?
Yeah. Since we work with specific manufacturers, if they purchased, let's say, an Anderson window from somebody else 10 years ago, 20 years ago, we can still get Anderson parts. We still deal with Anderson or Provia or Lincoln. And so as long as it's a manufacturer that we work with, we can get the parts, even if they didn't purchase it from us. It may not be under warranty, that's case by case, but if it's a manufacturer we deal with, we can get the parts.
What if it's not a manufacturer you deal with? Would you be able to get a custom panel in?
It really depends. Sometimes yes, typically no.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because it's really pretty manufacturer specific. And if it's a piece of glass that say we can't get, there are glass shops in town that we usually recommend people can go to get just a piece of glass if we can't.
And then you can install it. Is that
so? They
is that true
usually those companies
they take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if it's
a
not
lot more custom,
right? If it's not a manufacturer we deal with, it's just typically easier on the homeowner just to go wherever we may recommend to go to get it taken care of.
That makes sense.
Yep.
So, what is the difference between, a cheap window and an expensive window? Because I mean, to most people, the window is a window. I mean,
right?
It kind of works. Most people don't even open it.
Right.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's just like any other product that you're used to researching or dealing with. There's a whole spectrum of quality and features and colors and shapes, like I said. So it's really going to come down to what are you looking for. But there's all sorts of different glass options, and there's different grid pattern options. There's different shape options. There's also, you got vinyl windows, which are great. They're great for replacement, but then you've also got wood windows and with an aluminum clad exterior or maybe a vinyl clad exterior that you may be trying to match to something specifically, or maybe you want that wood look on the inside. You want wood on the inside of the house that you want to stain or paint a certain color. You don't want a white vinyl window on the inside. You might want it on the outside, but you don't want it on the inside. Right. And so it really comes down to a lot of factors. And maybe, you've got certain windows that face the hot part of the day with the sun. And so we might want to put some beefed up glass in there that can reflect the sun and keep the cool air in and the hot air out. There's all sorts of different options.
Tell me about that technology. I'm actually really interested about that.
So there's a lot of manufacturers deal with a company called Cardinal Glass that distributes to a lot of companies, and they've got, I don't know all the details of how the science of all of it works, but basically they can reflect and deflect UV rays whichever way you want, and the sun rays whichever way you want. So in the wintertime, you want warm air to stay in, obviously. Right. You want the sun coming in and helping to heat your house. And in the wintertime, or the summertime, I forget which one I said first. In the summertime, you want to keep that hot air out and those sun rays out. And so they've got technology where we can manipulate to whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Do those have to be adjusted every year by a professional, or
no? It's just how the glass is made. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So adjust to the season.
Yeah. Essentially. It's really about the coating that's on the window, the way that it works. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense. It's really cool.
Yeah. So pretty much any application you want or you need to issue you may need to deal with, we have options for it.
That makes sense. So in construction industry, right? I mean, most of stuff is standard, right? How do you guys handle non-standard window? Let's say I want a 20-foot window.
Yeah, so it's going to depend. Some manufacturers will do certain sizing and certain product lines within that manufacturer will do custom sizes, some won't. So if you come and you say, I want 10-foot by 5-foot windows, then we're going to need to choose the proper manufacturer and the proper product for that space.
Right.
Which is why we deal with different manufacturers, because they all offer different options.
How many manufacturers do you have? That you're working with?
I guess 4 or 5 are the main manufacturers between windows and doors, both that I would say we mainly deal with. There's some that there are some that we deal with every now and then when needed, if they have a specific thing that they do really well that we need to get a hold of. But it's really like 3 or 4 window companies that also offer door options, and then a couple of door companies that we kind of stick with.
That makes sense. That makes sense. What is one install that you're the most proud of, if you had to pinpoint?
Oh man, putting me on the spot.
Yeah, of course.
Man, let's
or
see.
that was most challenging, and how you guys resolved that challenge.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back over the years. It's been a long time since I've been on an install team. But I know that we've had to work on some pretty historical properties. Okay. And so when you get into historical properties, there's a lot of regulations that the Historical Society wants you to match. And that's where certain product lines really come into play, where they need certain profiles to match on the exterior of a window. And they need certain wood species or sizes or kind of SDL bars within the window. So I would say some of the historical properties that we've worked on over the years, truly, they tend to be more of a challenge, but one that, we're the experts. And so that's right. Why we get to work on those projects.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. Tell me about your guys' shop. Mm-hmm. I know you guys had some rebuilding going on. Tell me the story. It's a very fascinating story.
Yeah, over the past couple of years.
Yes.
Yeah. So we actually, last April, so April of 2024, we ended up having a warehouse fire, which resulted in the whole building having to be gutted. We sent some of our people to work from home, and then we put storage container pods by Keen Storage, like the day after the fire, had some little offices we put out in our parking lot. We worked out of there for almost a year while we renovated our building to be the showroom that it is today. And it was a long time to get that all turned around. It's a mess when you have a fire. It's a mess when people have water issues, fire issues. It just turns into a mess. But we're just really thankful that the building was still there, and it was just a gut and renovate from there.
Right. So how did you guys handle customers with that? Have you missed a single beat? Did you just? Yes. Did the customer feel it? That's the question.
So that's what's wild, is that it speaks to both our reputation and to our customers, because we have a lot of returning customers, that people were very understanding. And the day of the fire, our guys were just a half hour late getting out that morning, because they were just waiting to get the keys out of the building as soon as the fire department let them in to get the keys. And they were out on the jobs that day, even though all the chaos at the shop was going on. They were still out there getting it done. And throughout the whole process, even though we didn't have a showroom for about 10 months, our customers were super understanding. We had samples to show and plenty of literature. And we would there were times where we'd stand out in our parking lot and we'd be showing, one of our guys would be showing a sample on the hood of his car to a customer. And they're very thankful for their grace and understanding in that time, because we just kept moving. We didn't close one day throughout the entire thing.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we're very thankful. God's been very good. It could have been a lot worse, and so we're very thankful that the year went how it went, all things considered.
That makes sense. Do you guys work Monday through Friday, or do they do a whole 7 days?
Yeah, so typically we work Monday through Friday.
Gotcha.
Sometimes, depending on how busy we are, or if the customer has a certain schedule that would, hey, it won't work for you guys to come Thursday or Friday, but Saturday will work. Can you do that? There are times where we will work Saturdays if that's what the schedule needs, or if we're just really slammed and that's what we need to keep going, we will. But typically sense. Monday through Friday.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah.
I really appreciate your time and taking the time to do the interview. Anything you would like to tell the audience before we close up?
Just come see us. We're 4768 South Valley Pike by the fairgrounds. Come see us. Any window and door replacement, new construction, you're building a house, doing an addition, something like that, give us a call. We also are a Class A contractor, so we have 2 construction crews that we're doing additions, kitchens, bathrooms, siding jobs, renovations, things like that. You'll see those kind of things on social media as well, but that's a newer side of the company over the past 7 or 8 years that we've just organically grown, and people may not know about, but we've got really skilled carpenters on our team as well.
There you go. Perfect. All the links going to be down in the description, and thanks so much for watching, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.